Hello. Good morning from here in Kampala. We hope you're doing fine. So, yeah, the day is today. We are very excited. We are very excited about today because it's for the first time that we are going to have um, a public speaking workshop. And we thought it would be good if we invited someone in the field with numerous years of experience doing communications. So with me here, I have Diction Odu, who has, more over 10 years of experience in this field, and he's worked with some really big names in the industry. So we hope you're going to like it. Want to make it as interactive as possible. So feel free to ask a question at any time. Maybe just a few ground housekeeping rules. If you would like to speak, you would have to raise your hand up. Um, whether you're attending online or virtually. For those in the house, they can just, stop the moderator and they can use the microphone and ask. Now, for you who are online, there is a hand icon just on the bottom right corner of your screen. So that's for raising your hand. And then you'll be able to be picked, and then you can unmute and speak. So that is it. But also feel free to use the chat, which is on the left side of your screen, to type anything that you feel is necessary, whether it's a comment or it's a question. So we have a PowerPoint which the presenter is going to use, and maybe later we can also share those materials with you. So I hope you have a fruitful training, and feel free to check us out on YouTube. Most of our trainings in the past have been uploaded onto our YouTube channel. Now we have more than 60 hours of content on YouTube, thousands of views, and also more than 60 hours of watch time, you know. So there's a huge value on YouTube that is still underutilized. So check us out, Kectil Uganda. So I'll just put the link to our YouTube channel on the chat. That is if you'd like to benefit from our previous trainings. We tried as much as possible to record our trainings because we know they will be beneficial like in the future. All right, that's it from me, and let me welcome Diction to dive straight into the business for today. Thanks.
Yes, morning. I'm seeing Kenneth online. Kenneth, morning. Can you hear me loud and clear?
Sorry. This one.
Yes, yes, morning, everyone. And it's a pleasure to be with you this Saturday morning. I know we shall get more participants on the line online, and thanks to everyone who is physically here. Little history about myself. I think Joel gave you a small highlight. My name is Dixon, and I've been in the communications field, yes, for about 13 years now, but mainly in what you call the humanitarian communication sphere. My first outing in communications was in 2010. Maybe some of you were not yet born by then. Uh, and that was with the IOM, that's the International Organization for Migration. And I've been similarly in the humanitarian world, working with Red Cross, and currently I'm with the Norwegian Refugee Council as the media and communications coordinator. So yes, I've had a bit of experience in communications, and one thing that I've realized over time is the need for public speaking. Most of what we have is some people can say it's vanity if you do not have a skill in public speaking, if you cannot express yourself. So many of us have, gained experience here, gained papers here, done things here and there, but over time you find yourself not finding a placement anywhere, not doing anything anywhere. So when Joel called me up and said, "Why don't you come and talk to the team today about some ideas in public speaking?" I said, "Why not? If I can really help somebody to overcome their fear of public speaking and get to express themselves better, it can mean a lot of changes in their lives. It can mean better opportunities. It can mean uh, a lot of things, better doors that can open for you." So yes, it's public speaking by and large is something very important that we should take quite seriously. So let's delve into what has really brought us today. Public speaking, building confidence and conquering fears. That's the presentation that we shall have this morning. Um, the objective of our, I could call it a discussion this morning, firstly, is to identify what makes individuals scared of public speaking. You can find a really grown man, very huge, muscular, but you put him in front of an audience and you see him shivering, shaking, and cannot do anything. So the objective, firstly, when you're to tackle this issue of public speaking, is to yes, identify what makes individuals scared of speaking in public. Secondly, when we identify that, we'll learn to plan around stage nerves. So we'll plan and figure out a way, how do you handle the nerves? Yes, you're in front of this audience, you're supposed to do ABC and you're shaking. So we'll concretely and concisely look into what we can do to plan for stage nerves. Then after that, we'll build communication skills we'll learn how to build communication skills through simple speaking opportunities. That can really, like I said before, open your doors to a lot of opportunities. So first, let's go straight into what we had talked about here, is identify what makes you feel less confident in public. I'll open the floor for our guests here. I'm seeing Kenneth online and Joel. By first asking, what makes you uneasy to speak in public? You can open your mic and give me some ideas. Yes. So, firstly, when you're to talk of when we are to talk of identifying what makes you feel less confident about speaking in public, the first thing you should consider is those factors that make you feel uneasy about public speaking. Some people think of it's the body language. Somebody might get on stage and start thinking, I'm seeing Joel say fear makes him easy. So some people it's the body language. Eh, you might get on stage and the way you're presenting yourself, the way you're standing, the way you're talking, will not really build a lot of confidence among your audience. Say, for example, you're going in for a lecture, you're going in for a presentation, and you go to the stage, and maybe it's a presentation to students, it's a presentation, maybe it's your dissertation in masters, or you're going in for a job interview, and you're really not dressed well. So your body language alone might make you feel uneasy. So you find somebody is shivering, is doing ABC, is really not paying attention, is in common language you can say it's fidgeting. It's fidgeting with things. So the body language is one of the factors that can easily make you feel unsure of yourself and as such, in terms of public speaking, you'll gain a bit of fear or trepidation. The second is knowledge of the subject. When you are to really learn or speak to a certain category of people, you have to have good grasp of the subject. I can give an example of there's a friend of mine who was invited to the BBC to talk about a crisis in Central Africa, but by mistake he was taken to the wrong studios, because the BBC has a lot of studios. So he was asked about genetically modified crops, GMOs, and things like that, and he had no idea. So he just he just kept quiet. So when you are to to what we talked about in our objective here, when you're to feel confident in public speaking, first you have to know the topic that you're talking about. Have a very good grasp, be it in sciences, be it in arts, be it in maybe in the field of medicine. Yes, really, you should have a good grasp of the topic that you're going to disseminate to your audience. Then the third thing is keep an audience attention. The biggest consideration is how to get your audience and keep their attention, keep a strong grasp of their attention. I see this a lot with musicians when they get to stage, and even some of these comedians, how they start moving about their their material. He can even interact with the audience, go to the audience, start talking to somebody. They do all this in order to keep an audience's attention. So these three things as key factors that you have to consider when you're going to speak in public. Firstly is your body language, knowledge of the topic. Yes, Janet, you're most welcome. Yes, these three factors are some of the things that you have to really consider. But I'll
Thank
open.
you. Good morning.
Yes, morning. Yes, I'll open the floor to some of our guests here to give me also some ideas, some of the things that make them uneasy when they're speaking in public, uh, and we can talk about it. Uh, you can just unmute your microphone and yes, delve in right away. Anybody out there? So now that we have looked into the three things that really make you uneasy about speaking in public, I'll put also the question out there. Um, what are some of those nervous symptoms, that you feel while speaking in public? Something that triggers you, and this one this topic is really not going to go very well. You know, it's a bright and sunny morning here in Kampala, so for the guests out, I'm seeing about 5 or 6 people here online. Please unmute your mic and you can give me some of those nervous symptoms, some of the things that when you are to really talk to an audience, really ticks you off. You can also, with the Tingy platform, you can also type on the chat, and you can, yes, be able to to give in your opinion. Yes, nervous symptoms that you've had while speaking in public. Um, when you most times when you really put all these three that I've talked about in the first part, the body language, the knowledge of the topic, and keeping your audience attention. Once you've had those, you've really considered those before. You should now also think about what are those things that make me nervous in public. Is the audience looking at me? Am I very close to the audience? Am I not very comfortable with the stage that they have given me? Am I not very, relevant, very knowledgeable on the subject that I'm talking about? Yes, you should really think about that. But yes, if you really have some of the symptoms that really make you nervous while speaking in public, go right ahead and type on the chat box. I'll be more than happy to respond to that. Objective two: learn and plan for around these nerves. Take for instance, if maybe I'm not knowledgeable of the subject that I've been given, and that is making me nervous. Objective two will learn and plan around managing those nerves. First thing is preparation and rehearsal can help you reduce the fear, and this is by 70%. If you prepare before and rehearse your topic before, it will help you reduce some of those fears that you have. One of the things that I used to do in my previous place of work was to do disseminations to soldiers, actually soldiers that were ready to be deployed for AMISOM, that is the African mission in Somalia, African Union mission in Somalia. And by and large, I would go and teach them about international humanitarian law and international humanitarian relations. So one of the things that would really tick me off was the first time that I went there, I wasn't very prepared, and these people really, if you're in a, and they were maybe numbering over 1,000, because it's a whole pre-deployment team. So when you reach the stage and you're seeing fully grown men looking at you and you're not really knowledgeable of the subject, you're not prepared properly, that is when you start feeling nervous. So one thing, the next thing that I did before I went back was to rehearse my previous presentation before and prepare myself adequately. And when I went there, for sure, I was really disseminating and really talking very well. And all the fear that I had gone. So when you have prepared yourself, you've rehearsed your topic, you're dressed well, you're feeling confident about yourself, you're feeling good about yourself, there somebody will look at you and say, yes, this person knows what he's talking about, and I can really learn something from him. So preparation is key when you're to do something in relation to public speaking. So it's quite important, it's very important and very relevant that you prepare and rehearse before. That attributes to 70%, 75% of your ability to succeed in public speaking. The second is proper breathing techniques can help you to reduce this fear. What we are looking at, ladies and gentlemen, is to plan and prepare for nerves. Some people call it stage fright, you know. So here we are calling it stage nerves. So proper breathing techniques can help you also reduce this fear by 50%. If you go and you're speaking to somebody, you can even hear it on radios and any other mediums. When somebody is speaking and maybe they're nervous, they have stage fright, you'll hear the person is breathing like they're almost fainting. They'll start fidgeting around, breathing in a funny way. So that in itself will make people start thinking, does this person really know what they're saying? So those are things which are called stage fright. So to reduce this, proper breathing techniques can help you reduce it by 50%. And the proper breathing techniques that I'm talking about here is taking a deep breath. You can take three deep breaths, calm yourself down, and have a moderate tone of speech. you know, Deep breath, calm yourself down, and have a moderate tone of speech. This will help you emphasize certain points, because there are certain points that come out and you have to really use high pitch, like I'm using now. Then there are other tones of speech that you have to talk about, and you're using a low tone, and that will help you gain uh, confidence of your audience. The third is the mental state accounts for 10%, and all this will accumulate to 100%. Firstly, we're talking of rehearsing, knowing your subject. Secondly, we talked of proper breathing techniques, and the third is the mental state. Mental state. Do not go and start talking to an audience and you're thinking about maybe the food at home. You're thinking about this. You're thinking about that. You're all over the place. You know that one will obviously make you lose focus of your audience. You'll start being nervous. You'll start fidgeting around. So mental state. If you're to go and present a topic, you're going to present something. Leave all the things that they call it the worldly, the worries of the world. Leave it behind. For that, for 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hours that you're going to present a topic, have the proper mental state. Relax, calm down. Have one mental state. Put your worries behind. I think there's a verse in the Bible that also emphasizes that. Or you can say, leave all your burdens to the Lord and focus on what you're going to present. So as such, if for those who have just joined, we're looking at objective to learn and prepare for stage nerves. I'm seeing Janet here said some of the symptoms that she has when she's about to present a topic is shaking, sweating, rapid heartbeat, and squeaky voice. The squeaky voice, that is what we are talking about here. When you're really very nervous and you come out and somebody will, I remember somebody was saying, hey, this person is speaking like a cartoon, you know. Your voice goes off topic. Yes, when you're to manage stage nerves or stage fright, prepare firstly proper breathing techniques, breathe properly, and have the right mental state. Uh, Feel good about yourself. Feel happy about yourself, and that in a way will help you to achieve a good presentation, good public speaking. Thirdly, let's look at 10 steps to reduce speaking jitters. Speaking jitters is what Janet was talking about here, the squeaking voice, the shaking, the sweating, the rapid heartbeat. Some people might think you're going into hypertension, you're going to even blackout. So let's look into some of these methods that you can use to reduce speaking jitters. Know your room. Firstly, know your room. Knowing the room, before I get into the other bits of it, will help you know how best to pitch your voice, how best to move around, how best to relate with your audience. So know your room. Arrive early and walk around the room. Pace yourself, familiarize yourself with the room, familiarize yourself with your audience. Where am I going to talk? How am I going to talk? How far do I have to walk to a certain person if they have a question? Because sometimes if somebody has a question, you really have to go closer to them so that they feel they get the attention that they need. So know your room. Walk early when you arrive early. If you're speaker, I see many times people make this mistake. They have been invited. Actually, I was just from Arua from a meeting, and that thing happened. Somebody has been invited for a meeting, arrives late, doesn't know what the topic is about, just gets a microphone, says anything, and at the end of the day, if it's a high stakeholder dialogue, you'll find you've really misrepresented yourself, you've misrepresented the institution, and you've really caused a lot of chaos. So always arrive early, walk around the room, and get a feel of the audience that you're going to present something to. The second one is stand up in front of your lecture room or podium so that you know how am I presenting myself. You know, stand up and get a feel of the lecture, of the podium, or of the stage that you're in, so that you get comfortable with it. Thirdly, test your microphone if you're using one. For example, with this presentation, I've come in early. We have tested the microphones. We have seen, and I believe all of you out there can hear me well. We have really, made sure everything is working. There are many incidences. It's very common with uh, with some of our audiences out there. Somebody comes and starts banging on the microphone and is like testing, testing, you know. But yes, that's also a proper thing to do, to test your microphone if you're using one, so that you find that it's working well and people can really hear you and understand what you're saying. Thirdly, walk around where the audience will be seated. Like I mentioned, firstly, some of the audience members might want you to walk towards them and answer questions or interact with them. So try to see if you can easily reach there. Then walk from where you'll be seated to where you'll be speaking, so that when they invite you, that, oh, we have maybe Janet here to speak to us, you know that, okay, it will take me 5 steps to reach there. I'll have a proper breath. I'll be confident. I'll be ready for my audience. um, some people, I know some people make these mistakes. They make maybe the speakers sit too far from where they will be speaking. So by the time the person reaches the podium, they're out of breath and they cannot say anything. They first say, "Give me 5 minutes so that I can get myself together." So yes, try to test that out. If you find maybe where you're seated is very far from where you'll be delivering your speech, yes, take the time out. Try to talk to the organizers and say, "Okay, I need to be closer so that I can easily be accessing the podium." Yes. Are we together? At time I say you panic before entry, but I feel free just a minute on entering. Yes, that panic it's very common. You know, you feel your palms are sweaty. You feel, you're losing your mind. But I believe with this presentation, we'll get to know how to deal with that. So here we are looking at the 10 steps of reducing speaking jitters. Firstly, I've mentioned is knowing your room. Secondly, know your audience. Try to greet some of them, chat with them, talk with them, so that you feel free. You get to know. There's a common word, a common analogy these days. It's called vibe. Try to create a vibe with them, chat with them, talk to them, make them feel very, very welcome. And as well, when you feel make them feel welcome, they'll also understand you better. And because most times when you're presenting, like I'm presenting today, it's a dialogue. You're basically trying to impart some knowledge that you have to the people, and you never know, somebody even in the audience might just be as knowledgeable as you, or they might actually try to understand the topic better. So most times, try to know your audience, greet them, chat with them, make them feel easy, because somebody in the audience might just be as frightened as you are. So first thing, know your audience. It's very important. Greet them, chat with them, so that even when they're to ask you questions, their approach might be much easier. Second is, friends are easier to talk to than a group of strangers. Yes. So if you want maybe to understand your audience, you can. I remember very, very recently I had another workshop in Chamboko, and these were students. But I tried to interact with them, find out what courses they were doing, so that we have this uh, oneness and something like that. So greet the audience, chat with them. And one important thing is about knowing your audience is the level of dissemination that you'll be giving, the kind of language that you'll be using, the way you speak to maybe uh, a group of soldiers, like I used to do, that are preparing to go for battle, is very different from a way you'll talk to a group of students. So know your audience, and in such a way, it will help you also to know the kind of language that you should use, and it will help you also reduce the stage fright. Thirdly, know your material. That one I cannot emphasize it enough. Know your material, research the topic thoroughly, provide, these days there's so many, here we're using PowerPoint, but there's so many mat- technology out there that you can use apart from PowerPoint to illustrate scenarios of your material. I think there's even what you call infographics. There are Adobe PowerPoint presentation. There are so many materials out there that you can use. So many applications out there that you can use to illustrate your point. Read your material aloud and get a feel of how it sounds as it is being explained. Like, for example, this presentation that I'm doing, I had to go through it 4 times. I mean, 4 times, so that I know what each point means and how it has to be emphasized. Be mindful and monitor the speed of your presentation. For example, if I'm making this presentation and I'm just saying, "Oh no, one is know your audience, two is be this, two, three is be this," know your audience, three is know your material, know this and this. They'll say, "What is this man talking about?" So when you're moving too fast, your audience might not be able to grasp your presentation. And when you're moving too slow, they might be bored and say, this man doesn't really know what he's talking about. Let us try something else. So It's very important to know when you're to know your material. Be mindful of the speed. Read it fast to yourself, so that when you're to explain it, you'll know how it will sound to your audience. Research the topics thoroughly and provide illustrations so that somebody can really get to understand what you're talking about much better. For the audiences out there, if you have a question, don't forget you can unmute and you can be able to talk to me directly. I'll be able to answer you, because this is, by and large, what I said, it's a dialogue. Fourthly, learn how to relax. Um, I think most of you saw that clip of uh, our beloved prime minister when she sat on her chair and almost fell. That is not that is not relaxing. Sit comfortably with your back straight, in a proper position, and calm down. Breathe in slowly. Hold your breath 4 to 5 times, for 4 to 5 seconds, and do that 5 times. Then exhale slowly. And in such a way, I'm not a medical doctor, but one time I asked a medical doctor about this. They said this one helps to calm down your blood pressure, and calm down your heart rate. When you hold your breath for 4 to 5 seconds, don't hold your breath for 1 minute, because there something else might happen to you. So just for 4 to 5 seconds, then exhale, breathe out slowly. So if you do that 4 to 5 times, you'll find when your nerves are now, the stage fright, the stage jitters have gone off, and you're able to understand, and you're able to deliver your topic much better. Relax your facial nerves. Open your mouth widely, your eyes widely, and then close them, tighten them. Yes, there are those. There, especially when you're to do a presentation on TV. I've ever been in TV before, so when you're to deliver something on TV, do this facial. Nowadays, I think they're called prop people who handle the makeup. There's a way they'll try to massage your face so that you look calm, on air. It's when so that people when you come on air, people, as humans, we are more attuned to having confidence from somebody that is looking calm, and we're sure he knows what they're talking about. So when they see your face, and you so for those that have bald hair, you find maybe bald heads, you find maybe the nerves, the on your head are showing. Yes, Ben. Oh, okay. Yes. Yes. Do remember, if you want to say something, you can, yes, unmute your mic. Then I'll be able to talk to you. Yes. So there are some people who cannot relax easily. So you find, so actually, there are certain shows where they have even medical personnel nearby. When some, because you find the person's veins are all over the place and he's really looking very scared, stage fright. So relax your facial muscles, and try to do all these exercises that I've explained here, so that you look calm, and people can easily uh, understand you. But how to relax, as I recap again: sit comfortably. Do not, because you might sit and you fall on the chair. No, sit comfortably with your back straight, so that people can, gain confidence in you. Breathe slowly. The point of breathing fast, like I said, it will lower your, blood pressure, and lower your heart rate, and also it will help you to speak clearer, and deliver what you're, you're doing in a more concise way. Yes, then yes, relax your facial muscles, especially if you're to, let me see. Yes, remember when you've joined to mute your microphone. Yes, thank you, Stella. Yes, so just to recap: sit comfortably, do the breathing exercise, and also relax your face, so that people can know that, oh, this man is not going to cardiac arrest, but is actually very confident and knows what he's talking about. So all this, remember, we are going through 10 steps that will help you to reduce stage fright, speaking jitters. Visualize yourself speaking. before even you go to the podium, imagine yourself walking there, and how, because there are incidences when you're going to speak in a podium and you're looking too far, you're concentrating too far, and you find yourself tripping over a wire, and you're falling. There your presentation might be over. People remember you for the falling other than what you're actually going to present. So imagine yourself walking to the confidently to the podium, and you can even rehearse that. Then imagine yourself speaking, your voice loud and clear and assured. That is very important. A loud, clear, and assured voice is a voice of confidence. But if somebody, you're doing public speaking and somebody is stammering, like what Janet was talking about here, is squeaky voice. Some people call it the cartoon voice. Somebody will say, is this person really, what are we really doing here? Does this person know what they're talking about? So imagine yourself doing that. That's visualization. You can even rehearse that. Then visualize yourself as successful. Like, okay, now I've done this. So before you actually do the public speaking, rehearse all of whatever you're saying, rehearse it mentally, visualize yourself there. I remember I was watching a documentary. The importance, I want to emphasize on the importance of visualization. I was watching a documentary and people are talking about the players that take penalties at the biggest stage, that is like the World Cup. One kick can win your country the World Cup, and you can be a hero for the rest of your life. Your name will be cast in. Everyone will, remember what you did. So that is a moment when all the stage frights, everything will come in. You're like, some people actually they're professional footballers, but somebody can even fail to kick a ball. You know, but they said with those clubs, there are psychiatrists that come in and help people to visualize themselves, visualize yourself taking the penalty, being successful, and winning the World Cup. So similarly, this might be a small, a small yes, Ben. You have an addition? Okay. Okay. So when you visualize yourself doing that, you can actually be able to succeed when you already rehearse in your mind that, oh, because the World Cup is a bigger stage, but this is also a big stage for you. So when you're going to make a presentation and you imagine yourself walking to the podium, imagine yourself speaking clearly with an assured voice and loud voice, then you imagine yourself being very successful in that, in whatever you've disseminated, then you can actually go and do it. So visualization is very key in public speaking and getting rid of what you can call stage fright or stage jitters. Okay. Okay, now let's go to number 6. Remember, if you have any additions to my presentation, do not hesitate to unmute and be able to give me, or you can actually type in the chat. We'll be able to respond to you adequately. Okay. 5 was visualization, which I told you is very important. Then 6, realize that people want you to succeed. Sometimes we are like masters of our own doom. Somebody might look at you and you start visualizing yourself failing instead. You're like, now these people I'm going to talk to, maybe they don't want, maybe they hate me, maybe they do this. So you start feeling yourself with negativity. But one thing that you have to understand with public speaking, and you have to put it in your heart, people really want you to succeed. Audiences want the speaker to be interesting, informative, and entertaining. You know, because like everyone who has taken their Saturday morning, taken their time to sit here and listen to me, really want to learn. So realize that your audience, whoever you're talking to, want you to succeed. They don't want you to fail. So do not have that negative connotation, that negative thought in your heart that people really want me to fail, people want me to do ABC, people want me to do that. Have it in mind the moment you enter the podium, the moment you enter the room. It's actually very important when for those who are going for interviews, be it a visa interview, be it a job interview, be it any interview, that people really want you to succeed. Nobody's against you. So when you have that mindset that the people here that have the audience here that I'm talking to want me to succeed, then you realize that you actually have to succeed. Yes, I'm saying Mulongo. Please go ahead with your question. Mulongo, can you hear me? Can you? Okay, or you can type the question on the chat box. So realize people want you to succeed. And they want, like I said, also, they want the speaker to be interesting, informative, and entertaining. Nobody wants to sit for 2 hours or 1 hour and listening to somebody who, goes ahead, sometimes even loses track of the topic, goes off guard, sometimes does this and this. Everyone wants to sit and they want to listen to a speaker, and it's interesting, especially for the politicians. Somebody can travel. There's even a program, if you're if you're keen to public speaking, which I want to recommend to you. It's called TED Talks, where an audience just sits and wants to listen to the person. So you have to really make sure you're very interesting, entertaining. Everyone in that audience wants you to succeed. They want to get the best out of what you're trying to deliberate. Seven, don't apologize for being nervous. There are many mistakes people usually make. You go and you're to present a topic, then the stage fright takes over, and you start saying, I think I'm very sorry for, I'm not used. Do not apologize. Sometimes they have not really realized, but when you start putting all that out, oh, you see, this, now this and this, now this and that, now this and this, people will say, eh, for some people, actually, if it's a high level dialogue, there are conferences I've attended where you're maybe trying to lobby for funding, you're trying to do this and that, you're doing this and that, um, and you have like a 15-second rule, because if you're to talk to donors and you're to really get them you're to motivate them, you're to inspire them, and you're to get them involved to come along and maybe get attain funding for your organization to get along with what you're doing. You have to really don't show, even if you're nervous, they might not realize it because everything is happening. But do not apologize. Don't start coming and saying, I'm sorry, and this and this. Somebody immediately will have a biased opinion of you. So if you might be nervous, but just make sure you have your topic at heart. Know that, okay, I'm going to talk about maybe um, uh, water and sanitation, and you go and start talking about it. I'm going to talk about maybe uh, transitional justice. You go and talk about it. But do not start showing nervousness. Once you show nervousness, people will lose, and you start apologizing for nervousness. Somebody will lose interest in you, and you'd have lost a very big opportunity. And sometimes these opportunities only do come once. Concentrate on your message. Do not. Is Somebody one time called this feeder roads. Do not veer off and start talking about. Oh, now you see, this morning when I was coming here, I saw this cat crossing the road. Then this and this. No, concentrate on your message. Have one message. Your nervous feelings will ease you as you focus attention away from your fear. So just concentrate on your message, and do not start looking at, now you see this person is looking at me like this, you see this person, you start having eye contact. Means most times I don't even have eye contact with the audience. I just concentrate on what I'm delivering. Then you start having feelings like this, oh, maybe they're not looking at me like that, maybe they're doing this, maybe they're doing this. Then you'll find everything that you've come to present has disappeared. So instead of veering off, it's like you're driving and you're concentrating to reaching a certain point. Instead of stopping here, stopping there, concentrate on your message and you'll attain your goal. Do not really be moving here and there. Turn nervousness into positive energy. It's called like a positive attribution. So the same nervous, the same fright that you have. Try, like I thought somebody, Thomas Xavier was saying here, that he panics before entry, but when he gets onto that stage, the nervousness goes, and in a minute he's okay and he can easily present. So harness that energy, that energy that is causing you to be scared, that is causing you to have stage fright, that is causing you to veer off topic. Harness that same energy and transform it into enthusiasm. The same energy that's making you to shake and to sweat and have the squeaky voice is the same energy that you can transform, and it will help you to be enthusiastic and deliver a very strong speech. So learn this stress, like what we talked about, the stress releasing exercises, stretching your face. Sometimes you can actually, tell yourself, I can really do this, I can really do this, I got this, you know. Be your own best cheerleader. I could say that. So when you're nervous, try to turn the nervousness into positive energy, and you'll definitely deliver uh, a more than welcome presentation. Gain experience. Me talking to you here, like I mentioned earlier on, I've been in the communications industry for over 15 years. Actually, cumulatively, you could say 15 years, And of course, my first times were very anxious, were very nervous. But over time, working with different institutions, interfacing with different audiences, and part of my role actually as a media and communications coordinator is to be the representation of your institution. So if you're representing an institution like where I work, the Norwegian Refugee Council, and you like for instance, we have recently had a big upsurge of refugees coming in Chisoro, and you're going to talk, and people are not really understanding what you're saying. They can really think of the institution as in a negative way. So over time, gain experience. Try to use enough. Try to look for all the opportunities to speak in public. Maybe make a presentation in class, in church. When you go to church, make a testimony. Try to find an opportunity to make you gain experience, and as such, over time, you'll find yourself easily interfacing with very various audiences. Remember, once again, when you want to have on a suggestion, when you have anything to talk about, do not hesitate and mute, and I'll be able to. Yes, John, he says has a comment to make. I'll be able to respond to that. You can easily unmute, and I'll be able to respond to you. So the third and final objective that we are going to look at is related actually to the experience part, the experience that I was talking about, is to build communication skills through simple speaking opportunities. You don't have to start with the very big ones. Let's just look at baby steps. A baby really doesn't start running immediately. They crawl, they walk, and they can be able to run. So yes, Joel. Joel wants to add something.
Okay, members, good morning. I hope you are enjoying this session. So there is this particular thing Diction just mentioned about finding an opportunity to speak wherever you go. So I have a testimony. In 2016, I attended a program, like a leadership training program. So it was a 3 month training. So on our graduation day, there was this very ambitious young man. I think he was really so much into public speaking. I'm going to share with you all a link to his YouTube and the kind of company that he that he started after then. So on the graduation day, they present a list of speakers and programs, and he was just a participant, just like anyone else. But he wanted to speak on that day. So we are gathered and we are listening to people. Then he writes on a sticky note, and he gives me. He says, "Can you tell the MC that I would like to say something?" So he gives it to me to send to the MC. Then I take it to the MC, and everyone is wondering what is this that this gentleman was to say. But eventually, he was given the platform, and he spoke. And I think that was one way for him to gain confidence, but also have access to audience. I think access is really the issue here. You may think you're good, but then if you don't have an audience, yeah, it's always hard to find people gathered, like the right audience. So that was one opportunity. And I remember, like, every day after training, he would want me to shoot a video of him just talking on the campus, saying a lot of funny things. So yeah, you could also start like that. Like he said, you go to church, you can say, okay, I have a comment to make, or okay, I have a testimony, something like that. Yeah, that's what I wanted to add.
Yes, thank you very much, Joel. My first experience in public speaking. Let me also give a small example. My first experience in public speaking was I was still in campus. So in campus, one of to build your public speaking skills, one of the ways was to talk on radio. So we're invited into this radio. I don't remember the topic, but I think it was about something in relation with campus health. And if you've never been on radio before, when you hear your own voice, it's a bit of a fright. So I started saying, "Good evening, viewers." Yet you know radio very well as listeners. So over time, I started perfecting, going to radio over and over again, speaking to small audiences, speaking to bigger audiences, until to a certain point, like I mentioned, I could actually speak to an audience of over 1,000 soldiers. So baby steps, gain experience, and after some time, you'll be able to perfect your ability to speak in public. Objective three, yes, I said this relates to what we are talking about, how to build your communication skills to simple speaking opportunities. Opportunities are all around us at your workplace. You can, most people have like Monday meetings where you're told, oh, present a topic on ABC, present a report on ABC. They can tell you even for 5 minutes. I tell you, like, even at our workplace, you have to present like your departmental report. And that is a basic opportunity to talk to your colleagues. So use that opportunity for those who work, or if you're in school, use that opportunity to start gaining your confidence in speaking around people. So there's that opportunity. Even the personal ones. There are these people nowadays that are called vloggers, these YouTube people, and they're making really a lot of money. So you can record yourself. Not on TikTok. I don't know much about TikTok because I think TikTok might be miming or something. But yes, record yourself on like a video and try to explain. Like sometimes I do it on my laptop and I try to explain and maybe make a report of something that happened. I can actually give you an example. Nowadays, if you're going maybe to to the field and they tell you, oh, there's a situation ABC happening here and here, you do not go and just maybe just take photos and ABC. You can actually record a selfie video, you yourself, and you have to explain what is happening. My name is Sanso. I'm right here in this settlement. I'm seeing ABC happening. I'm seeing ABC happening. So you become like a field reporter. So it's very these opportunities all over the place. So start in a simple way. Start by talking to co-workers. Then you can talk to your colleagues. Then you can maybe progress to a workshop and you make us a presentation. Then you can, but always look for opportunities around you that can help you to talk and to give a speech where necessary. So, in conclusion, there are three things I want you to remember: prepare, practice. Preparation and practice is equals to perfection. I could call it the three P's: prepare plus practice equals to perfection. Nobody is really going to help you with public speaking. You have to prepare your material, practice your material, then you will be able to disseminate it perfectly. And remember, he who fails to prepare is preparing for failure. It's that simple. Always prepare your material from day one, and always remember um, to practice, and always remember to be able uh, to deliver something. The very good example I have is for this. I could call it maybe the U.S. presidents and so on. When you see, like Barack Obama, when you see him being very eloquent in his speech, everyone is sitting and listening. He has practiced over 100 times. You know, I remember they said he could even practice in front of his mirror to see how his face is looking, to see how all these emotions are happening. So always remember, practice, prepare, and you'll be perfect in your public speaking. I really,
Okay, let me just jump in here a bit. I think he has also raised a very, very important point here. You need to have some public speakers that you look up to, like Barack Obama is great, and also another speaker that I really like watching is Donald Trump. I don't know if you guys watch him. So Trump can actually speak without having to, like look at any notes. You would just stand and speak. I've seen him speak at the UN General Assembly, and I wondered. Actually, that was even my first time. I didn't like his political ideology, but I think the one thing I love about Trump is how he speaks and how he controls the audience and how powerful, like he has all of the stats in their head. His choice of words is great, his tone and everything, sign language, and how he plays with his mouth. Sometimes he makes the mouth round. Some other times, yeah, these are facial expressions, right? Yeah, so have someone that you really admire, and I think that's also great for you to learn.
so friends out there, like I'm seeing in the comment here, Xavier is saying I was recently applying for a climate change conference and a video recording was part of a requirement. Yes, these days, much as you might have the qualification here and there, much as you might have this and this here and there, but your ability to express yourself is key. If anyone is in HR out there, can also attest to this. Your ability to present yourself eloquently, your ability to speak in front of people, your ability to represent the institution is key to your ability. It's key to your success in whatever that you do. So that's why I had to take you through this, because public speaking right now is a key criteria in most jobs that we do, in most events that we go to. Actually, it's now part of, I could say it's part of life. It's something that you need to hold part and make part and parcel of you. So yes, it's now 10 o'clock. If and we are concluding to this. If there's any question, this is about the time. I need to hear out from you. What do you think can as this presentation helped you? What do you think you can do next time to be better? And if any of you want any opportunities for public speaking, you can also as well reach out to us and reach out to me, to Joel, and we shall be able to get you those opportunities. So it's the floor is now yours, and it's your time. Please reach out to me, and we have a small talk. If you are not in the position to talk, you can as well type in the chat box that I think is just next to you. I'm seeing Houston or Tim. Please go ahead. Yes, you can unmute. And yes, Jenny, please go ahead.
Good morning, Kectil. Mine is not a question, but I would like to share what kind of feeling I usually get, especially when I'm called forth to speak in public. I usually have this weird feeling, like I feel my heart begins to beat so fast, and I even eventually sweat. So that sometimes is so discomforting, and the breath also changes. But I think with this I've learned. Um, yeah, it was a great one. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Jenny. I can't wait for your next public speaking opportunity. Do remember to invite me to it. I hope I now know you won't be sweating and your voice will be as good as it is right now. Thank you very much. Tim, please unmute and make your submission. Floor is open to you. And just like what what Jenny was talking about, remember what we talked about, how to remove the stage, what we talked about here, how to remove the speaking jitters, the stage fright. Um, Sit comfortably, try to breathe, hold your breath 4 to 5 times, not for 1 minute. 1 minute, you might definitely not make it. Yes, Houston, please go ahead. Then relax your facial muscles so that people can easily know that you're calm and confident and they can have trust in what you're going to deliver.
Uh, Thank you so much for the opportunity. Good morning, everyone. Mine is a kind of a question. I always hear speakers be like, some are like, bring it to our guest. So I don't know. Is it a must, or what does it imply? That was the question. Thank you.
The arms and the ums are what you call transitions. you know, people normally use it to like try to get to the next to like gain a bit of time so that they can really the way the human body works. When you think something, then it has to come to you. You have to speak it out. So that microsecond when somebody has to think of what they have to say is that transition when they do the arms and the ums. So, and sometimes it's also part of stage fright when somebody really has lost what they have to say. They often get to that, and it's really not part of it's not part of public speaking. It's
Mm.
just a coping mechanism some people use to get to their next speech. So a better public speaker actually
Okay.
wouldn't use that. Yeah, wouldn't use that.
Mm.
When you're to be eloquent, you have to really be smooth in whatever you say.
Actually, I want to
I,
play for you a video of Ruto. He uses that a lot. But again, if it's not natural, like if it's if it's like a natural problem that you have, then we understand. But again, if you want to use it as a transition in your speech, you need to
mm.
know where and how to use it. Like it shouldn't be too much. Like your speech shouldn't be full of just the has and So let me just play this short clip. You're actually going to hear Ruto saying like he uses that a lot. I don't know what you guys think, yeah, but he's a great speaker. Uh, let
Okay.
me let me just play Ruto's. So that's absolutely fine, Houston.
Johnny, Johnny, do that.
No, I think that one doesn't have it, but let me share another one. Like I've been so that you can- that is this inauguration. Sorry, but you can actually look up Ruto by yourself. Let's see Trump just for a minute. Okay, now let me show you Obama in a second.
So, if you're to notice one thing that is common in all the speeches, you can see their body language, you can see how they have knowledge of their topic, and you can see how they like for Obama, when he said, I think he said Mr. President or something, and he looked behind. That's trying to get your audience attention, speaking to the audience directly, and having your body language, things that we talked about, factors to consider uh, when you're going to have a public speech. So yes, I see Atama Seve, your hands has been raised for a while. Uh, yes, you can unmute, then you make your submission.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Joel Odata. Actually, body explanation is one of the things that has really helped me in speaking to the public. That's why I was like, in the first minutes, I feel uncomfortable before I enter, but on entering, like within a minute, then I feel comfortable. Using your body parts to express yourself makes you to gain confidence before an audience. Then another thing, you standing out of the audience to get that opportunity for public speaking. At times it depends on your participation within the activities, even when you're seated within the audience. So that gives you an opportunity to stand out of the audience and be chosen to give a speech. That helped me on one of the opportunities when I was doing a climate change course. Then I was later called out because of my participation from the audience as a participant to give final remarks about the course. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Xavier. And indeed, yes, those opportunities, those are the things that really will help you um, build your confidence in public speaking, and will let you let go of the fears that you used to have. And indeed, over time, over time, you'll find you've become a very eloquent and confident speaker. And I think that was the aim of our topic today. So, yes.
Okay. Then I just wanted to add something really small. We live in a world of technology, and oftentimes we are called to speak to big audience. Sometimes the podiums are these really modern ones with multimedia equipment. So it's also important for you to, have some basic IT skills, so that when you're given the platform, you can actually set your presentations up if there is no one to help you, so that like you don't get embarrassed before the audience. So these are just, like you need to know how to use PowerPoint presentations, how to transfer your presentation from, let's say, a flash drive to maybe a screen, maybe how you can, use microphones and stuff. So these are just, basics. So you need to be familiar with them as well.
All right. Thank you, Joel. I know it's a Saturday. I don't want to hold you for too long. You all have different activities and different plans for the day. If there's nothing else, I'd like to say thank you to everyone that took time out to attend this small discussion. I'd like to call it a discussion. And next time that you have an opportunity, you can actually share your contacts with through the chat box to Joel. So next time that you have an opportunity, you can call us out and we look at some of the pointers, some of how you're presenting, and maybe correct you here and there, encourage you here and there, so that we really build each other. Because in the world of today, there's that common saying. I don't know if it's South African. The spirit of Ubuntu, the spirit of oneness, is quite important in the world that we live in today. So let's keep that in mind. And I do hope all of you out there do have a good weekend. And really thank you for taking time out and joining the course. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. I think we've come to the end of our training today. I want to, in a special way, thank Diction, first of all, for accepting to speak to you guys and share his experiences with us, but also all of you for taking the time and, putting in a bit of transport to come to our office, or even buying internet data to be able to get this very important knowledge and skill that you need to be better at whatever you do. So the next is, if you'd like to get the PowerPoint, you can send us an email to kectil.uganda@gmail.com, and we'll be able to send you the PowerPoint. But also, we are going to upload a recording. We've actually recorded this training. We'll upload a copy on our YouTube channel that has more than 60 hours of tutorials since we started about a year ago. So again, be sure to check us out on our YouTube, subscribe to our channel, and share our content. Our content are free. So, and also follow us on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter, so that you are up to date. We normally do several trainings in a range of areas. So, and if you're in the Kampala area, so we also organize some activities, some community outreaches. So please be be part of the team that is doing amazing things here for the people, mostly the young people of Uganda. Thank you, and have a wonderful weekend until we meet again. Goodbye.